Hello, YouTubers. Side Hustle Survivalist here. Hey, before we get started, please hit that like and subscribe button, and we can get this information out to as many people as possible. All right, so now we're back in the classroom. Everybody should have their pace count. That was our first video on doing how to get your pace count. Before we even go into land nav and compass reading and everything, I asked everybody to go out and get your pace count. So first thing that we're going to do today and in this video is we're going to go over a compass, parts of a compass, how a compass works, and that'll probably be it for this video. And then once we get into the field, we'll show how the compass, how we use it in the field. So I have two different compasses here, and I want to go over these compasses with you. So we have a military compass, which is a lensatic compass. This is a very precision instrument, and this is what I prefer. You can get these at pawn shops, any type of store like that. These are the military grade lensatic compasses. These are the other type of compasses that you can get, and they work just as good. And these you can get at the Walmart or wherever outdoor store there is. So I'm going to go over both of these. A lot of these have the same attributes, everything. So I'm going to see if I can get this up close enough. So on the compass, the lensatic military compass is that one that has a thumb ring, and we'll go over that. It has a lanyard so you don't lose it. This opens up into a flat, and then you have a straight edge on one side, and this allows you to read topographical type maps, not our maps that we have that we get at the visitor center, but this is for topo maps. Then you have what's called a sight glass, and you'll see that little notch in there. And then you have, if you put this up, you have the sight wire in there. I'll turn that around. You can see a sighting wire. And we'll talk about that on shooting a bearing or an azimuth a little bit later. But using that notch in the top of that is how you line that up. Okay, then I'm going to turn this over, and you have what's called a bevel ring on there. Then you have your actual compass in there, which this points north. The arrow points north at all times. And then right up close on there, you will see a bunch of red numbers and a bunch of black numbers, okay? Now, the black numbers are in mils, and we are going to ignore those for purposes of this lesson and lessons going forward. Now, if you were shooting some artillery, you'd probably want to use the mils. The numbers we're going to use are the red numbers down below, and those are in degrees. That's the numbers that we're going to be using, okay? Now, first off, before I get into the parts of the compass, there's two different methods of ways to hold the compass. And that's where this thumb ring comes in play. You put your thumb in here. This is called the cheek method. I bring this over, back up, and you can see I set this down on there. When I do that, you can see that makes a line right there. And then you have a magnifying glass that I can look down in and see my degrees. So when I do this, I bring this up to my cheek. I take that little notch in that line, and I line it up on whatever I'm shooting at, an object or a bearing or azimuth. And then I look down in, and that magnifying glass allows me to read the number, the degree down in there. So that's the cheek method. The second method is called the center hold position. Now, I use both of them, but this is the one I prefer. So center hold position, again, you put your thumb in to the compass, and you bring your elbows in, and you make your body as stiff as possible. You bring this over, and you look down. Let me back up. You look down, and you can see the degrees, the red numbers, and whatever degrees you're wanting to go, you turn your body. You don't do this. That doesn't work. You keep a stiff position. You turn your body until that is lined up in the direction that you want to go. Now, the other thing is that whenever you do this, this is always the direction that you want to go. So this is going to be pointing, you point this towards whichever direction and you move your body to that. Again, center hold method is good, and it goes like this. One caution when you do this, you cannot have anything metal that's on your body that's close to it, all right? And the reason being, this is a lens-static compass. If I turn it over, you can't really see it, but it's a floating dial. It has to be setting like this. It's a floating dial, and it moves. So I'm going to take this piece of metal here, and I'm going to see if it'll work while it's up like this. Oh, see that? See how that piece of metal moves that dial? Okay, that's how metal will affect this. So make sure you don't have any metal. All right, now the second compass that we had, the other one that you bought is, it's a lot, well, cheaper. Let's just put it that way. But it still works. And this also has a bezel ring on it also. And normally a lot of them will have a little notch up here at the top to wherever you can know the direction. And it always tells you the arrow of which direction you're wanting to go. So this one is, this one you can't hold till you cheat. This is a center hold method. And again, you move your body the way that you want to go on this compass. Now, one thing on this is that you will see on this compass, you have your degrees around the outside on the bevel edge, but there's these little numbers, red numbers on the inside. That is your declination, and I will get into that a little bit later. But right now, this compass, which is neat, has the declination, and a lot of these compasses do have the declination numbers on it. Your military compass does not have a declination guide on it. So we'll get into that here a little bit later. Okay, one thing that is really cool about a military compass, you see this little white line and the white line on that, the white line up here and the white line up there, is that these are either tritium or they're phosphorus. And what does that do? That helps in low light conditions. So what I do is at evening time, I can take my flashlight and I can shine it on my compass and here, and those will glow in the dark. That allows you to see at nighttime which direction you're going, because they glow in the dark and you line up your lines. That's how that works. Now, a tritium compass, same type of style, military compass, but if it's tritium, they're pretty expensive. Then you're looking at like $175 to $200. This one is a same military compass. The only difference is that this one has phosphorus. What's the difference between the phosphorus and tritium? Well, I have to charge up the tritium maybe once and it'll last 6 hours, maybe. Whereas this phosphorus one, I would have to take my flashlight and charge it up. It takes about 20 seconds, about every 30 minutes or less. So that's the difference between a phosphorus and tritium. So you're paying quite a bit more. These on the phosphorus, if you go to a outdoor store or anything, I've seen them anywhere from $50 to $100. So that's what those are. These, obviously, you can get anywhere from $5 to $20 at a lot of the outdoor stores. So that's why a lot of people use this. And this works in short distances and if you're out hiking or doing something like that. But if I was in a situation where I had to bug out, had to get out of town, I definitely recommend going and getting a lens-static military compass at one of the hardware stores.